In 2026, Tesla dropped a device no one expected: the Pi phone. On the surface, it looks like just another smartphone, priced at only $273. But hidden inside are features Musk himself has never fully admitted to the public. Energy capsules that seem almost impossible, satellite links that ignore cell towers, and durability fit for survival in apocalyptic scenarios. Some call it innovation. Others whisper it's a tool designed for control. Tonight, we go beyond the glossy ads and into the shadows. What exactly has Tesla unleashed and why? When the Tesla Pi phone was first revealed, most tech analysts focused on the price. How could a phone packed with Tesla branding and cutting-edge features sell for just $273? But the real story wasn't the price tag. It was the way the phone stayed alive, seemingly beyond the limits of modern engineering. The key lies in its unusual power system, a mix of traditional batteries, solar panels, and something Musk has never fully explained: the energy capsule. A typical flagship phone battery is simple enough. 4,000 mAh, nominal voltage around 3.7 volts, giving you about 14.8 watt-hours. Enough to power a smartphone for a day of moderate use, maybe two if you're careful. Nothing remarkable there. But the Pi phone doesn't stop at the main battery. Integrated into its back panel is a solar array. Not a gimmick, not a toy, an actual functional charging surface. Small, yes, but efficient. At 60 square centimeters with a 22% efficiency rating, under full sunlight it can produce about 1.3 watts. Scale that up to 100 square centimeters at 24% efficiency, and you're looking at over 2 watts. It doesn't sound like much until you realize 1 hour in the sun could give the phone an extra 15% charge, enough to make 5 to 10 emergency calls when everything else is dead. But the strangest piece is the capsule. Solid state, no liquid, no moving parts, designed for long-term storage and sudden release. The very idea raises questions. Why would a consumer phone need technology that sounds more like something pulled out of a classified aerospace lab? Capacities are listed at 10, 15, or 20 watt-hours. In emergency mode, where the phone sips only 0.66 watts to keep GPS, texts, and calls alive, a 20-watt capsule could run the phone for over 30 hours straight. Put it into deep standby, consuming just 60 milliwatts, and the same capsule could keep survival functions running for nearly 2 weeks. Now imagine the implications. A device that never really dies, so long as the sun touches it. In disaster zones, war zones, blackouts, or wilderness survival scenarios, the Pi phone doesn't just stay alive. It keeps you tethered to the grid when the grid itself has failed. Why would Tesla design something like that unless they expected the grid to fail? This raises an unsettling question. Was the energy capsule built for consumers, or was it a testbed for something larger? The technology sounds suspiciously similar to power units rumored to be in development for off-world colonies and military survival gear. Some speculate the Pi phone is less about competing with Apple or Samsung and more about proving a portable energy solution on a massive scale. It's easy to dismiss such speculation as paranoia. But one detail stands out. The capsule is sealed, software-controlled, and can't be accessed by normal users. You can't replace it, recharge it independently, or even tamper with it without triggering failsafes. Why lock it down so tightly unless it's storing more than just energy? Could it also be gathering data? Could the capsule itself be some kind of sensor node, a power supply doubling as a surveillance device? Tesla hasn't answered. And Musk, usually eager to boast about breakthroughs, has kept strangely quiet about this one. If the Pi phone can keep itself alive in the middle of nowhere, the next revelation is even stranger: it can keep you connected when the entire network around you collapses. But how? For decades, cell phones lived and died by the same infrastructure: towers. Towers that go down in storms, towers that burn in wildfires, towers that crumble in earthquakes. The Pi phone doesn't care. It was born with something different, something people only whisper about when talking about government black projects: direct-to-satellite communication. Starlink. Thousands of satellites orbiting low over the Earth, each one a node in Musk's ever-expanding net. Most people see it as a way to get Wi-Fi in rural homes or on yachts in the Mediterranean. But the Pi phone changes everything. This isn't about dishes bolted to rooftops. This is about a slab of glass in your hand locking directly onto the same satellites that guide global military operations. How? Instead of bulky dishes, the Pi phone relies on a phased array antenna embedded beneath its case. Think about that, a smartphone with a military-grade antenna small enough to fit in your pocket. Starlink's satellites orbit just 500 to 600 kilometers above Earth, far closer than old geostationary giants parked 36,000 kilometers away. That closeness cuts latency from hundreds of milliseconds to as little as 20. Short enough to make a live call, send your location, even stream video through space. Now picture the scenarios. Hurricanes wipe out cell towers? You're still connected. Earthquake severs cables? You're still online. A government deliberately shuts down networks during protests. The Pi phone doesn't blink. For activists, survivalists, and anyone who distrusts centralized power, this is the holy grail. For governments, it's a nightmare. Because suddenly, people are holding devices that bypass national telecoms entirely. Encrypted messages can slip directly through the sky, avoiding interception by local providers. In some regions, authorities are already scrambling to figure out how to block Starlink handsets, a task far more difficult than pulling the plug on cell towers. And here's the conspiratorial edge. Do you really think Tesla added this just to help you make calls during a storm? Or is this about building the first civilian device capable of living outside government control? Some analysts believe the Pi phone is a Trojan horse, normalizing satellite phones for the masses. Today it's marketed as survival gear. Tomorrow, it could be the backbone of a parallel communication system immune to regulation. But there's a darker interpretation too. If all Pi phones connect directly to Starlink, then in theory, Starlink knows where they all are, all the time. Each user becomes a blinking point on a map, a dataset of global human movement tied to the satellites above. Independence from towers doesn't necessarily mean independence from oversight. The Pi phone can survive without towers, but could it survive without you? Was this phone made to outlast the owner? Most smartphones are disposable by design. Screens that shatter, batteries that fade, updates that stop after 3 or 4 years. Planned obsolescence isn't just a phrase, it's an industry model. But the Tesla Pi phone is different. The numbers tell the story. Your average flagship costs over $1,000 and is built to last maybe 3 years before performance and support wither away. That's $300 to $500 a year. The Pi phone? Built with aerospace-grade titanium, sapphire glass, and modular parts, designed to last a decade or more. At the same price point, that drops the cost to $100 a year. But this isn't just economics. It's ideology. Titanium alloy TiO6 for V, normally reserved for aircraft and spacecraft, wraps the phone's frame. Its tensile strength is nearly 1,000 megapascals, 4 times stronger than the aluminum that holds together an iPhone. A drop that would shatter other devices barely leaves a dent here. Pair that with sapphire crystal glass, second only to diamond in hardness, and you've got a screen that laughs at keys, coins, even pocket sand. It's overkill. And that's what makes it suspicious. Why design a consumer phone to military specifications? Why seal it against water, dust, and impact with ratings that exceed most rugged phones on the market? Why integrate magnetic locks and gaskets that could survive years of heavy compression cycles without degradation?